I hit the record button, but I don't know if you've seen like Kevin's episode or anything like that, but very candid. I don't really have anything scripted or anything like that. I do always introduce, like this is our new podcast, like interview type series called TC Talks.
Yes,
So
sir.
we have Jay here today, J.STATIC, as you're known online, right?
Yes, sir. J.STATIC.
Cool, cool. Yeah, thanks
Yeah,
for
man.
signing on to this.
I'm glad to be here.
I got a little bit of insight into, oh, not really into you, but into Enzo from Kevin. But
Yeah.
I guess that's like a good segue to start in. So, how do you know? Just because we just talked to Kevin last week, how do you know Kevin?
Yeah.
And how did you guys kind of get started with Enzo together?
Nice. So here's my side of the story. No, I'm
Okay.
just kidding. No, no. I actually met Kevin through. We had a bunch of mutual friends over at VCU,
Oh, okay.
and and I connected to him. He was actually a sushi chef during the. Well, he said in his interview
Yep.
during the pandemic. Dude, I was picking up sushi from him like 3 times a week.
Oh, what? Like
Yeah,
at his store?
it is. Yeah, it is. And then we were like start talking and stuff, and then that, like one day the 1 hour conversation then turned into like a 2 3 hour conversation.
Mhm.
And everything was shut down, and he was like, he needed a haircut, and I was like, well, I don't cut hair, but I have some trimmers. Like I cut myself. I could try to give you a cut. And we
Oh,
started hanging out, and just started hanging out like every day.
oh, cool. Dude, that's so
Yeah,
funny
so
how like the pandemic kind of brings out like all of these like unique ways of meeting people, and that's just another
yeah, because
example of that. I remember everyone back then was like cutting their own hair, like looking up YouTube videos and stuff
right.
like that. Oh, okay, that's
Yeah.
funny.
So I had him with the sideways hairline. No, I'm just kidding. No, we like actually really started to get close, and I had always told people that I had always wanted to be in the rave scene and
Okay.
like in the EDM scene, but I never had the friends like that would go to those shows or listen to the music. So I like found a post the other day from like 10, 11 years ago that
Mhm.
was like me on Facebook saying somebody take me to a rave.
Oh my
And it's
gosh.
so crazy, like looking back at it now.
Wow, that's crazy because I know how like intertwined you both are now with like the local like Richmond rave scene. So that's crazy
Yeah.
how far it's come in 10 years.
Yeah, for real. And like I was actually DJing before, and I was just doing like weddings and like birthday parties and stuff like that. So it was nothing like that I took serious. And I was on tour, and I used to throw like parties in a hotel room and stuff, and that's how I
Okay.
got into DJing. But dude, I didn't know like mixing, like I didn't know how to beat match. I was crossfading over to the next
Oh
track.
man.
Yeah. I just had the music.
Mhm.
Yeah, it was during the pandemic. I got close to a friend of mine that also DJ'd at VCU. Ryan, he goes by Rab, and Elliot, he went by Elliot Ness at the time from the Jungle Room, and just watching those guys, man, like go, and their version of teaching me was like, stay in here and watch what we do. Yeah, and
Oh,
I just picked it up from that.
that's awesome. So yeah, I guess that's a good transition point, no pun intended. But so you got started back then. Were you always like DJing? I'm assuming like out of high school, and I don't know if you went to like college or anything like that.
No, so originally, like when I was in high school,
Mhm.
I've always been an entertainer.
Oh,
So
okay.
like while I was in school and stuff, like I did show choir. I was dancing. It all started at my church. I was like dancing on a dance ministry called the Bomb Squad at my church.
Hmm.
And it was just filled with so many like talented artists. And we started hanging out. We became a family, and I started making music. And so at the time, I was like rapping, and I was getting like paid gigs and opening up for
What?
different artists. Yeah,
Oh
this was
my
like late.
gosh.
Yeah, and like around that time, even during that time, I was trying to make. I had a sound in my head, which now I know is like more like trap. I wanted to mix
Mhm.
like EDM with hip hop, and I was like, I wanted to sound like robots dancing at the disco. I remember always saying that. Shout out my boy Theo Culiano, who DJs. He was one of my producers, and my math teacher was
Oh.
also one of my producers while I was in high school.
Oh, okay. I
So
do
yeah.
recognize the name Culiano. I think he spins up here as in Northern Virginia. Or I think he used to
Yes.
spin at like the Block or something. I recognize his name.
Yep. Yep.
Okay.
Yeah,
Wow, that's
that's my
awesome.
boy. We went. That's crazy. Small world.
Yeah.
Yeah, we went to high school together, and he used to produce and stuff for me. And yeah, so back then I was doing shows. I was like rapping. I started like escalating like a music career.
Mhm.
But then you know, I was going to college and stuff, and then I started dancing. I was always a dancer. I started off dancing in church and then show choir and theater. And I was like, you know what? One day I decided like I'm gonna drop out of school. I was going to college. I
Uh-huh.
was gonna drop out of school and I was gonna become a professional dancer.
Yeah. Oh my
And I
gosh.
did that. Yeah.
Dude, that is
That
mad
was really
respect.
how it started. Thanks, man.
Yeah, yeah. I
Yeah,
hear like I guess for me personally, like I've talked about this on a previous episode, but I see a lot of people like balancing like a creative life with, a 9 to 5 or something that just like pays the bills. So to hear someone who just like
yeah,
fully commits into like this passion, this creativity, it's so inspiring. So
yeah.
that's awesome to hear that you
Oh, awesome.
you
Thanks,
dove
man.
in. Yeah.
Yeah, I've always kind of just had that mentality with anything,
Mhm.
just like DJing or like dancing or rapping. Like I said, I love to uh perform. So like it's just in me. Like I have to do it.
Yeah.
I feel like if it wasn't this, it'll be something else. And if it wasn't this, you know, it's like when you have that artistic creativity like bone in your body, it's going to come out like in a multitude of ways. Like
Right. Right.
I'm sure like I could draw a little bit, you know. It's like I never want to be a like a painter or anything, but I'm sure if I sat with it, then I'll be able to pick it up. So yeah, I just dove in head first, and then I got picked up by this company. I started hosting my own workshops, and that
Oh,
led me
okay.
to actually teaching. Yep, at VCU, I was doing classes for their arts department there, and I was like 19, you know, teaching over at a college, and um, I got picked up by the Latin Ballet of Virginia,
Okay.
and it was they were like, "Who's this kid with the long hair?" Like, I want him to come dance with us. And they picked me up, and I started touring with them. I got
Mhm.
picked up by another dance company. They hit play ballerinas in Chicago. I started touring with them, and then through the Latin ballet and through there, I was doing like national tours, international touring,
Whoa.
and like just on the road, on the go, like professional dancer. You know?
Dang. Wow, you really are built for this life. That's crazy.
Yeah. I, I had to like I did a tour. My first tour was when I first graduated, the summer that I graduated high school, I toured with a church and I was dancing in their like church ministry, and we went on a tour up and down the East Coast. And like doing that, I was like, oh, it was just a taste of what
Mhm.
it was like. I was like, oh, this I gotta do this. Like this is clearly the life for me.
Yeah. That so you go from dancing and you're involved in all these like out of state, I'm assuming, like you said Chicago earlier, all these
Hmm.
different organizations and churches and stuff. And I know you said 10 years ago you posted that you wanted to go to a rave,
Yeah.
but where was the bridge into, I guess, the dance music, like the rave culture? Like how did you get involved in the EDM side, I guess?
Okay. Yeah, like when I was a dance teacher and I was teaching like classes, I taught at like multiple studios here in Virginia. Um I used to play a lot of like EDM music. So like a lot of like my start was like of course like my start into I guess really EDM. Well, technically when I was little, I was a kid, me and my brother used to have these dance parties. We'll call them dance parties, and we'll put on like techno and just like dance
What?
and point at the next one. Yeah, so we were listening to techno as like kids because my mom was always so like diverse and she listened to everything,
Mhm.
heavy disco and stuff like that. So I definitely get that from my mom. But um, when I was dancing, I used to do a lot of my classes and routines to like Air, like Arl Grime and like
Okay.
Daft Punk. Yeah, so like I'd always had the music, but and I would see like videos on YouTube because I'm searching for the music. Like you remember like Trap
Oh,
Nation
yeah.
and like what's that dubstep one with the speaker?
Shoot. Is it UKF? I'm not sure if
Yup,
that's them.
yup,
Okay.
yeah, yeah. And so like I used to watch those videos so like raves and like concerts and stuff would like come up in the recommended videos. So I would just be like, man, I would love to go to something like that. And
Mhm.
then after meeting Kevin, well, I went to one show originally that was a Glitch Mob. That was my first show in like 2018.
Okay.
And like I had a pashmina wrapped around me. I didn't even know what a pashmina was at the time. It just felt right.
Yeah.
And then during the pandemic, though, when I met Kevin, he's showing me all of these things. Like, oh, dude, you never heard of Lost Lands? Like, you never heard of this?
Oh,
And
okay.
he's showing me this, and I'm like, I would love to go to something like that, but of course, nothing was open. So technically, the first, I guess, rave that I went to was the one that we threw called Fire and Ice, and that's when
Mhm.
he said it was at the ice cream shop.
Yep, yep. And you guys
Yeah,
sold out with that
technically, that was,
technically sold out, yeah?
yeah,
Nice.
technically that was my first show, and like, and
Mhm.
yeah, that was like the bridge into it. But once I got in, oh, I went to first year in, I went to Lost Lands, I went to EDC, I went
Holy
to
crap.
the Cavern.
Oh, man, you've been to the
Void
caverns?
cavern set, like in the cave. Yeah, my mom thought I joined a cult. She was like, all she sees is us in like like it came with a cloak. The
Oh, okay.
ticket came with a black cloak. And then like my family saw like the wine bag. Cause you know, that's a very much like EDM culture thing, the wine bag,
Yeah,
slap the bag.
yeah.
And all they see is like black cloaks and like a bag full of red liquid. And we're like drinking from it.
Oh my
But I
gosh.
hit the ground running. Yeah,
Yeah,
I hit the
that's
ground running.
insane. Oh my gosh. I've been raving since I turned 18. But I definitely have not gone to any of those like big festivals. I've been to EDC. I've been to like Moonrise here in Baltimore.
Okay. Yeah,
But man, yeah, you hit everything. I think.
dude. I was like, this is a very expensive lifestyle.
Yeah,
Like,
for sure.
you know, the Airbnbs, the travel, you know, it's like
Oh yeah.
it's pretty, but I love it. I wouldn't now it just became my life. And
Hmm.
um about like knowing Kevin for about like 3 months, he told me that he had like a group of friends that he met at Lost Lands, the ones that he talked about in the previous interview when we did the Halloween weekend
Hmm.
that because that's like a sacred thing to us. Halloween weekend is like our own festival
Oh, that's so
essentially,
cool.
and yeah. So he told me about his friends from Lost Lands and how he was going to visit them in Chicago. I was like,
Okay.
oh man, I love Chicago. I work out there. I was about to move out there. He was like, oh, you should come. I'm like, I
Okay.
don't know them. I barely know you.
Hmm.
And he was just like, why not? And him and my best friend now, his fiance, Delina, we went out there and I met their friends, and now that's my family. Like
Yeah.
that is legit my family.
Oh man, I love that, man. It's something about like the culture of just like taking care of each other that really
Yeah,
brings people together. I was gonna
yeah,
ask like what hooked
for real.
what hooked you onto EDM and raving so much harder than I guess like all your past lives or your previous
Right.
your previous
Yeah,
jobs, is it quote unquote?
I mean that's how it feels.
Hmm.
That's exactly how it feels. Like it seems like pre pandemic was a whole nother world, like a different reality almost. Like
Yeah, it really
I had a
was.
whole nother life, and then like you know, and it just like completely switched over, and now you're saying pre pandemic or post pandemic. But when I got into the scene, like I mean, just Honestly, it's just the love. It's the love energy that is unlike anything I've ever witnessed before. It's like genuine and it's of course just like with anything you have like some people who are clearly not in it for the right reasons,
Mhm.
but that's going to be with anything you do.
Right.
But seeing the amount of love that people have for even like complete strangers,
Yeah.
it was just something about that that just like I was like, okay, this is I want to do this for, ever. And like being with my rave fam, you know, that bond that we built in such a short time because you gotta think like when you're at festivals and when you're like camping,
Mhm.
you're living with these
Right,
people.
right, yeah. You gotta hunt for
It's like,
food, however
yeah.
expensive it may be, and water and all that stuff.
Exactly, it's your tribe.
Yeah.
And originally, when we first came up with Enso, it was Enso Tribe Promotions,
Oh,
and
okay.
yeah, I mean Enso Promo just fits better,
Yeah.
but we wanted to incorporate like the tribe into it because like that's how we came together, and we all
Mhm.
played a specific role in it, and even our friends and people that come to the show, you're a part of it. Like once you come, you've done a show. It's like
Yep,
once you
yep.
once you're in, you're in.
Yeah, 100%, like, echoing, the love that you guys give off. And I don't know, it was very now that you mentioned the whole thing with Kevin and how he invited you out after, 3 months of knowing each other, I get that warm sense from all of you guys when I came down there, for I think it was, like, 2 months ago now or 3 months ago, but yeah, my first time down there with you
Yep.
guys, it was so much, like, positivity, and I told Kevin too, like, it's so cool how you curate the events of there's lighting, there's production, yeah, all that stuff, but there's also like vendors and flow artists, and it really is like a community at
Yeah,
each and every show, like a mini festival, and I freaking love that.
it is. I love it so much. Like, and that was one thing that he played a huge part in, like starting to create it, making it bigger and better. Like, he had a vision, and like, any I'm like the guy that dreams big. I like blurt out ideas and stuff that I have, but like him, Logan, and Keen,
Mhm.
like those three guys, man. Like I could be just up talking and like just sparing out words, like just saying whatever, and just like they're like, all right, we hear you, we see it, but let's make it realistic. How can we actually make this
Oh, okay, so they'll find a
happen?
way to like execute.
Yes, yeah, and it's like a checks and balances. Like if I'm getting too overzealous, they're like, all right, dial it back, But yeah, like these shows just kept getting bigger and better, and now we are like being more consistent,
Mhm.
and then it started to spark my personal DJ career as well because now my talents are being broadcasted to people who hadn't seen it before
Mhm.
because I feel like that's how it is with anything, like if you come into a show and my fans or friends and stuff enjoy you, now you got more people who will follow you, keep in touch, or it'll be a gateway to something else. And I feel like the Enso is definitely a gateway to building me as a brand.
Yeah, yeah, for sure. So I did want to transition to that topic too. So you as your own individual artist now, what are you trying to accomplish as DJ producer? I know I see that you throw gigs or like you do gigs too, like you continue to do weddings and I think proms and stuff like that. So tell me a little bit more
Yeah,
about
yeah,
that.
yeah. So I'm thinking about opening up, my own grocery store, my own bank. No, I'm just kidding. But like, I'm really focusing on building my brand, like building J.STATIC because I really am an entertainer, and I feel like DJing has, given me that outlet to be able to do it all. If
Mhm.
I want to grab the mic and start rapping over a track, I can do that. If I want to hype up the crowd and MC, get more audience participation, I can do that. If I want to dance, I could go out in front of the stage and fuck it up real quick. Like I can do that because DJing actually gives me that outlet to actually be able to put all of my talents and skills into one place. So now I'm really focusing on that and actually putting together more of a show for people. So like now when you're booking me, you know you're getting um a certain quality, a certain show. You're gonna get a show.
Hmm.
So you're gonna get all of me. You know, it's not just gonna be like a stereotypical set because I'm gonna turn upside down and I'm gonna be twerking in a handstand, like you know,
Oh man, I
and
love
Kevin's
it.
probably gonna be holding my legs while I do it. You know?
Oh man,
So yeah, I'm
I
really
love that
focusing on
energy.
building a brand.
Mhm.
Yes.
So when it comes to it's pretty clear that you can do it all, like you just said. You know, MC, DJ, sing and dance. What are you trying to do in terms of like a sound that you are known for, or is there a sound that you're known for? I don't like
Yeah.
pigeonholing people into like genres specifically because I think yeah, I think the the topic of genres is you know subjective as always. But yeah, I guess
Oh yeah.
what sound do you kind of go towards, if any?
So yeah, for sure. Like I'm on a Grizz hoodie right now. Grizz has definitely been like has played a major role as like one of my role models and idols in the DJ community just because he also does that. He puts on a show, you know.
Yeah.
And I love that. I just love his sound. It's like funky. So I always think about like the Pandora artists. If you were to click on J.STATIC radio, like the Pandora artists that you would hear. So you'll probably get Grizz, Ganja White Knight, like Earl Grime, Nightmare Recno,
Hmm.
and like definitely more of that stuff. You will get like some Skrillex sounds in there, you know, because I like that trap. I like to infuse like the EDM sound with like hip hop and sometimes funk
Yep.
and like put it all together. So that's what I'm working on and like building that side. And definitely like Jansen has been a huge he's an up and comer, but becoming a big name. Jansen
Hmm.
has been a huge role model to me and like yeah, I wanna start to be known for that, like, cause it's fun and I'm a dance. It's something that I'm a dance to, you know, and I love making people dance. There's
Hmm.
something so pure about like the art form of dancing because it's like not only tribal, but it's so pure, you know. It's like singing in the shower.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like it's just raw. You're not really worried about, how it may sound, how it may look, it just is what it is in its raw form.
Hmm.
And so like to get people to do that, it's like getting people to show a piece of their soul, a piece of who they really are. And to be able to do that is like it's such a joyous feeling. Like it's just that's what gives me life.
Yeah. Oh man,
Like
that's freaking
yeah.
beautiful. I don't know if you've seen Avatar: The Last Airbender. Um,
Yeah.
on Nickelodeon, I think it was when Aang was in like the Fire Nation. He was playing an instrument, and he just starts like dancing,
Yeah.
like paddling his feet. And the teacher's
I
like,
know
"What are you doing?
exactly what
Like,
you're
there's
talking
no
about.
dancing here in the Fire Nation." And it's just like you can't help it. You can't help but like express
Yeah.
some kind of
You can't help
physical
it.
movement to go along with that. Wow, I love how you phrase that though.
Thank you. Yeah. I know which one you're talking about too. I think about it like that too. It's like you don't teach babies, when they hear a song, like they're gonna go like they're gonna do whatever they're able to do, but it's just in you.
Yeah. Oh man, that's awesome.
Yeah.
So that's so cool to hear like all these different artists that you just mentioned. It's a pretty wide variety in my opinion. No artist that's exactly the same as another. And you said
Yeah.
growing up, like your mom was a big influence because she played everything, like all kinds of music. So that was like a very regular
Yeah.
thing, hearing like just all sorts of different tunes throughout the house.
Oh yeah, for sure. Like definitely like oldies, like Aretha Franklin, Etta James, huge Michael Jackson. Me and my mom both are huge Michael Jackson fans, like just musically and but then she will also listen to like Queen and like
Oh, okay.
she would have like a lot of different, artists that I had never heard of at the time and like knowing now like Elton John, it's like
Mhm.
she would just have things, and I would take her CDs. Like I would take a little Walkman, and I'll have it on the bus. I have my headphones in. I used to hold it like this so it wouldn't skip. The CD
Oh
wouldn't
my
skip,
gosh.
and like
So pure.
I was in there listening to like the Temptations, like, and
Mhm.
I'm a little kid on the in elementary school with a Walkman, like listening to the Temptations on the school bus. So like, she definitely had a play in it. She actually comes to the shows and stuff, and she'll dance with us and like hype me up and
Oh,
like
what? So she's seen you,
really
like, perform
encourages
and
me.
DJ?
Oh yeah, yeah. My mom is a huge support system. Like honestly, I wouldn't be able to do any of this if it wasn't for her. She's one of my closest friends. Like I talk to her all the time. She definitely, I feel like she definitely found a balance between parenting and like befriending. Because
Mhm.
I'm so blessed to have like a mom like her that even if she didn't agree, she allowed me to be myself and encouraged me to to do what makes me happy. And I'm blessed to have that because I know it's different for everybody, but I got the one that I got, and I'm happy. I'm happy I got her. Yeah.
Yeah, she sounds cool. I wish she could be my
Yeah,
mom,
she's
that's
super
awesome.
cool. Yeah. And she goes, she'll hang out. She came to the pre-party. She doesn't do the afters though. Oh God, I can imagine if she saw me at the
Yeah.
after. It's like, but yeah, I always had like a very open and honest like communication with her because like she gave me the space to do that. So with that, that allowed for more creative freedom. And so like
Mhm.
when I said I wanted to do show choir, or I wanted to do this or I wanted to do that. I used to play the trumpet, when I wanted the guitar. Like, you know, she gave me that space because she grew up around musicians. My dad was a professional dancer. So
Oh,
like
what?
yep, yep. He used to dance. He's danced with like TLC, MC Hammer and
Oh
stuff.
my gosh.
Yep. And like he used to battle and stuff like that. So like I definitely it's in me,
Yeah.
you know.
Yeah, when I said
And
earlier that you were built for this, I didn't realize, like, you were literally built for this, like, it's
yeah,
in your
yeah.
DNA.
It's in my DNA apparently. And, yeah, so like I just always and then like the friends that I had growing up, because of the bomb squad and church, um, we created like a group that was a bunch of like misfits and like different people. We were like the first like odd future in a sense, like before like that really blew up. But we all had like creative outlets and we were able to grow and build off of that. And we're all like professionals now and do it. So I've always just been the type if it was something that I wanted to do, I just figured it out and just did it and just went for it. Just
Mhm.
go for it.
That's so cool, man. What would you
Thanks,
say, or,
man.
like, what would you say to someone who is feeling like they don't have a creative itch? Because for a long time, I felt like that. For a
Mm,
long time, like, I was like, I'm typical Asian household, just hit the books, get the grades, get your job,
right.
and that's it. I felt like I didn't have a space or a need or a want for creativity. What would you
Mm.
say to someone like that, or how would you motivate them to find a little bit of creativity in their life?
So I used to speak on this like even as a teacher, like dance teacher, or
Oh.
like um encouraging people, like even people I was in relationships with,
Mhm,
like encouraging them to um find out what it is that makes them happy.
mhm,
And the only way that you find that out, because it's like, when you hang around certain people that do certain things, it makes you want to do it. All of my friends eventually want to get up and get on the board, because I'm DJing or somebody's DJing is right there. And that may not necessarily be for them, but just that effort of just getting up and trying it, that right there is something that a lot of people go their entire lives without doing.
mhm,
And that will be the only thing that keeps you from finding that happiness or finding that creativity is not trying it.
mhm.
So if anything piques, I would tell someone whatever piques your interest, try it.
Yeah.
And you might sound like shit, it might suck, but like you might be good at it when you first pick it up. But it's just it's the consistency of doing it. I sucked at dancing. I was a terrible dancer. Like I was horrible. I couldn't clap on beat. They used to like make fun of me, like my family and stuff. My family was like naturally talented. I didn't have it, but I worked at it. I used to come home and every day for a full summer, I just worked at it. And once I saw like I had a skill for it, even rapping, I didn't even know what bars were. I didn't know like the sequence of music. I was naturally good at the trumpet,
Mhm.
but I couldn't read music. So I just learned the song. You remember they used to come with like a CD? I
Yep.
would learn the songs and play it by ear. But like just by going for it. I'm not a trumpet player right now, but I went for it and like that led to that, which led to that, which led to this.
Mhm. I see.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think a lot of people have, and a side note to that question, there's nothing wrong, in my opinion, of like not having something creative in your life. There's
Oh yeah,
no
for
harm at all
sure.
in just like doing exactly what society expects. I think that's a perfectly normal thing. I was just curious because that was kind of where
Right.
I was,
It is.
and I think it's getting to that point of like just throwing darts at the dartboard. I use this analogy all the time, but eventually something will stick. Eventually something will get closer and closer to the bullseye,
Yeah, yeah,
and
eventually.
light like a spark in you.
Right, exactly, exactly that. And you never realize like the impact that you know your talent or your drive for doing something. You never realize the impact it can have on other people because
Hmm.
somebody could be watching you and you tell a similar story to them or grew up in the same area as them or in the same situation as them and they connect and relate on that level and it changes their lives, like I used to be really insecure about my DJ abilities just because I was around so many people who were just like naturally talented and so humble too. Like I would just the DJs that I mentioned before, and even my friends, they're so talented, and like sometimes it can be a little intimidating.
Hmm.
But like to go and I did a show in Austin, and Kevin did a show, and I'm over there like freaking out. It wasn't like the equipment that we thought we were going to have. I had never played on this controller. I'd never seen or heard of this controller before. My songs aren't loading up all the way, and it's like I can't beat match. I'm like, dude, I am freaking out, and like Kevin was like, let's just go out there and we're gonna have fun, and we did a back to back, and like I was up there, and dude, we killed it. Probably to date, one of the best shows of my life,
Wow.
and it was just amazing. But when I walked on stage, we were getting ready to leave. And Delina, she's rave mom. She's like pulling me. She's like, come on, you know. And this guy stops me and he was like, hey, I just wanted to let you know that I just enjoyed your set so much and I wasn't gonna be here tonight. And he said that that night he had contemplated suicide.
What?
And yes, and
Holy
this is a
crap.
true story. But seeing the joy that I had up there while performing and dancing with people in the audience reminded him that happiness does still exist.
Wow.
And he just wanted to give me a hug and thank me. I cried about that for weeks on end just because I'm over here worried about, things that in the grand scheme doesn't matter. And,
Hmm.
just by me up there doing what I was doing brought happiness to someone and reminded them that happiness does still exist. So, like, I mean, I bring that up to say, even though I had my own insecurities, you don't really realize like the impact that you just being you could affect. So, like you just said, like it may not necessarily be a creative outlet, but just being that one manager, that actually cares about their employees or that one teacher that impacts a student's life. It doesn't necessarily have to be a creative outlet, but just to know that something that you do can impact somebody else is a super powerful thing. And we have that ability to do that. So, like you said, when you shoot as, something sticks, just by you going for it can really alter somebody else's life, while you're growing yours.
Yeah, man, Jay, thank you so much. Holy crap, like chills throughout that story. I'm not
Oh man.
exaggerating. That's insane. That because it's funny that you mentioned this. Um, the show that I played in Richmond, that was my first time in Richmond, first time interacting with you all. I was really nervous and I was really insecure too. I had like
Mm.
issues like traveling down there. I had to like take a train and all this. Like I was freaking out about making it on time and everything. And when I showed up, like, and I spoke to you, I think Wrath was there too, your friend,
Oh
and his
yeah.
girlfriend, yeah.
Yeah.
And
Yep.
I don't think Kevin was there, but yeah, I showed up and all of y'all were just so chill about it. They're like, yeah, yeah, no worries. Like if you're late, you're late. Like it's all good. Like we'll move things around. Like we'll accommodate. Like and the whole like being humble about it was I'm sure like without me saying this, this probably didn't cross anyone's mind that was there, but the fact that you all were just the way you are, your humble and
Yeah.
kind selves, like it made such an impact to me. Like it made such like we didn't exchange too many words, but it felt like a warm welcome to Richmond, to
Yeah.
this scene, to this city. So that's
Sure.
incredible that you have that story with that
Thanks,
guy in
man.
Austin.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, we felt that, especially like we've all had that show,
Yeah.
or like those, like you can't, when things are just out of your control or like stuff like that, like, the term shit happens, man. But,
Mhm,
I didn't realize because of the people that I had around me, like the two that I named, like Elliot and Wrath, and I mean, even Kat is a phenomenal DJ now, but like starting off, like she she just recently got into it and like
mhm.
just had it. She's one of those, she just got it, a beast. But I was introduced to that. I had them. I had like Kevin around me and stuff, and like uh Logan and Keen, and these are people who have been in the scene. All of those people have been in the scene, and I've always gotten that warm welcome. So to hear, like, I know like it's not everybody's like that from
Mhm,
just stories and stuff that I heard, but I was blessed enough to have like those people around me. And so like I want to always put that energy out there to everybody,
mhm.
everybody that I come across, because I'm actually afraid most of the time. I'm actually afraid even before leaving the house,
Me too, me
like
too.
just
I'm throwing up on the way there. Yeah, it's same here.
yeah, exactly. Yeah, I got to throw up in my pocket right now from this interview. But no, so like I get super nervous. So like it's definitely more like a comfort thing to be around people that allow you to have that space and no judgment.
Mhm. I think that's a huge thing. The no judgment and the open mindedness. I try really hard. So I'm going to EDC next week. It's my second one in a
Oh,
row.
nice.
Yeah, I'm super excited. I'm bringing my fiance, who's actually not a raver, and I'm so excited to bring her into the culture. And like we spent last weekend like making candy and perlers and all this stuff. And
Nice.
so I really hope for a good first time and like a warm welcome for her. And I don't know, same experience as you, really, like being around the scene and being around the people that are there. Everyone really like emulates the peace, love, unity, and respect. And I find it hard to come home from a show or a long festival like that.
Yeah.
I find it extremely
Yeah.
difficult to adjust back to normal life because that doesn't exist. Sometimes it feels like it doesn't exist at all outside of those
Right.
environments, outside of EDC,
Right.
outside of Moonrise and whatnot. How would you encourage others to bring that positivity, that open mindedness to everyday life, whether it's like corporate 9 to 5, whether it's you're in school, whether you're a waiter or a server? How would you encourage like the
Man,
that kind of attitude?
that's an awesome question, man. Really good question. That's a
Thanks,
good
thanks.
one. Yeah. I would say like people we start to make it as though that this is normal life, like this, that the matrix is our reality, like the sitting at the desk, like, you gotta look at who are in those situations, like when you're at a festival or when you're around the people that you love, and that's your real self. That's your
Yeah.
genuine, when there's nothing to worry about. Time does not exist.
No,
Time
for
is
sure.
not a thing. It's like it's only when you're trying to get to the next stage, like what time does such and such play. That's the only time you worry about time.
Yep.
But if you can, bring that love for just that love, like that love for the music, that love for the people, that love for the experiences. If you can bring that with you, like on your day to day, and like focus on helping someone around you,
Mhm.
because like how you said earlier, like it's a lot of that looking out for each other, and it's really a love energy, and we really vibrate on frequencies just like music and like sound. That's why music is one of those things that bring us together, because it vibrates on a certain frequency. If you take a pitchfork that's tuned to one and another one that's tuned to another one, and you hit it, this one would stay the same. But if they're tuned to the same frequency and you tap one, the other one is going to vibrate. So
Oh.
like, yeah, and that's actually like a science experiment you should check out and look up, tuning fork frequencies,
Mhm.
and like if you hit one, it's going to vibrate. So when we're all listening to the same, pitchfork, it's like
Yeah, yeah.
tuning fork, we're all vibrating on that frequency. So like people like, I didn't mention earlier, but one of my all time favorites, number one right now, is LS Dream,
Yep.
just because he focuses on um love and high vibrations and vibrating on that love energy. It's a frequency that I'm striving to reach, all the time. But just by having conversations or helping someone or uplifting somebody else,
Mhm.
your vibrations go up as well. So, like, spreading that love energy will ch- change your day to day, and you'll start to change the people around you, even though that's not the goal. But, that it's infectious.
Yeah. Preach, man. I promise I'm not trying to stump you or give you too challenging of questions, but you aced that
Yeah.
one. That was awesome.
Nice. No, that was good. I like that. I like that one.
Cool, man. I
Yes, sir.
man, mentioning time doesn't exist. I can't believe it's been 45 minutes. This
Oh
is
man,
this is
already.
this is a really good conversation. I wish it could keep going forever, but I do want to keep it under an hour for these episodes.
Oh, of
And
course.
again gotta appreciate like your time and all the flexibility that you provided in getting this set up. But I guess the
Oh
last
yeah, thanks,
question
man.
I always end with is, what advice would you have for 10 years ago Jay, for the guy just
Oh,
starting out who is eager to get into the scene, wants to maybe pursue DJing and producing, doesn't know where to start? What would you say to him, and what
mm.
lessons learned would you pass on?
All right. I would definitely say focus. Focus. I would say write it out. Write out a plan.
Mhm.
But the main thing I would say is to focus, because like having that ability to hop around and do this and do that can be a gift and a curse,
Yeah.
because it's like you want to do everything. You want to do this, I want to do that. Like I had a cooking show on YouTube around
What?
that time, like 5, 10 years ago. I was cooking on YouTube. Like
Oh my gosh.
I was doing everything. So um I definitely did. I did have moments where I did focus and I created something, and anything that I wanted to do, I figured out a way to do it. But for anybody that's listening that is striving to do something, when you put your head down and you focus, even if it's for a couple of weeks or a couple of months, when you write out a plan and you follow the plan and you work on building yourself, we often want to compare ourselves to those around us, but or those that we see online or those that we inspire to be. We compare ourselves, but to know that that story isn't your story.
Mhm.
We all have our own stories. So, I have my own timeline, just like the guy over here has his own timeline. I had my own upbringing. He had his own upbringing. And, everybody's story is different. And just because you see that person on level 10, you didn't see them on level one, and if you're just like me when I was just starting, automatically wanted to be level 10.
Yeah.
And it's like, nah, dude, you got to carry that board up and down them stairs. Like you have to do the wax on, wax off. You got
Yep.
to you got to train. You got to be ready for that. So like, when you focus and you prepare, then the universe has a way of rewarding you with opportunities. Preparation is, a gateway to opportunities. So I would tell myself to focus and don't worry about what everybody else is doing and just have fun in the process, man. You know how they say like it's really not the destination, it's the journey.
Yeah.
Because while you're striving to get to the finish line, you're meeting all of these amazing people during the race.
Mhm.
And like now you're stopping here to get something to eat, now you're having drinks with this person, and it's like that's what it's about. That's the story.
Mhm.
Those conversations that you have, those are going to be the stories that um we talk about later on in life.
Yeah. That's
Yeah,
awesome,
so
man. I love what
yeah,
you
man.
said, preparation is the gateway to opportunity. That
Oh, that
oh, man.
was a bar right there.
That was
That
did
was a
you
good
come
one.
up
I'm gonna
with
write
that?
that
That
one
was
down.
yeah, that was a good one.
Just came up with it just now.
Oh, man, that's
I'm gonna write.
crazy.
I'll put that on a t-shirt.
Oh, man. Jay, thank you again, man. This was awesome. I have to run it
Thank you,
back with
brother.
you and Kevin and all the Enzo guys. Again, we're gonna do a part 2, part 3 one day. And man, I'm
Yes,
here
sir.
to document, and I'm here to catch up and get a refresher at every step of the journey. And even if you get to the destination and there's another one on the horizon, I want to be there and hear about it, man. So thank you again for
Awesome,
your
man.
time. Thank you for this awesome
Thank
conversation.
you. Thank you. I appreciate you so much, man. We're gonna talk and catch up soon. And
For sure.
I got some stuff in the works, so I'm gonna be reaching out to you too.
Yeah, love it. Thank you so
Yes,
much,
sir.
Jay. All right.
All right, man. I appreciate you. Talk to you soon,
Appreciate you
man.
too. Take care.